Hey there friends, welcome back to It's About Flippin' Time, where I find, refinish, and flip all kinds of furniture. Today I'm working on a special piece, a vintage pie safe that belongs to a friend of mine. She's trusted me to breathe new life into this sweet little cabinet, and I can't wait to show you the process. This pie safe has great bones, but it's ready for a refresh. We've got some plans to keep its charm while giving it a cleaner, more modern feel that still works with her cozy style. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get to work. Well, here we are. This client piece, it's what I think is a pie safe. Solid wood. She wants it painted in one of my favorite colors. Needs to be cleaned out a little bit, possibly strip the inside or sand down the inside. It looks like it was a white paint washed. I don't know how easy that will be to get rid of that, but we'll give it a try. She wants to keep the mesh, maybe just clean it up a little bit, secure it a little better, but oh, it's going to be super cute. And possibly get new hardware. And apparently this one won't close because there's a shoe behind it. But this one's going to be fun. I get to paint today. You guys ready for a really cute transformation? Let's do this. Really hope this mic is doing a better job of picking up my voice. That furnace that I have here in the shop is extremely loud. And here we have it. It's a tap dance shoe. I'm always curious to see what or how hard the finish is to remove before I use any stripper or any kind of thing. So let's see. I'm gonna have to clean it up and maybe I can get off all the gunk, but I think it's doable. It won't be too hard to just sand it. Just get rid of there's a lot of gunk and it kind of gummed up the sandpaper. So we will do that, clean it first, and then see if I can get off all this. Yeah, it just comes right off. So I don't know, it kind of looks like Play-Doh or something. We'll see. I have done a cabinet of this size with beadboard in the back like this one has in the past. And I've had people ask, why not just take out the back and strip and sand it that way? Well, here's a good example. The reason being is it is secured in here really well. And I'm always fearful, especially with beadboard, if you try to remove it, that you'll just literally destroy it. And this one here is definitely nailed in here. I mean, every little shelf it's connected to. So the chances of me ruining the beadboard is probably pretty good. So instead of taking the back off, which obviously would be way easier to remove any of the paint on the inside, the safe thing to do is to kind of just work from this way. I think I'll be okay. It shouldn't be extremely difficult. Could be awkward, but I do not want to destroy that part because that's a really cool feature of this piece. First things first is I'm going to do some scraping on the inside. I think I did a little bit the other day and it's just coming right up. I can at least get most of this off on the inside, it'll be easy. It'll be easier to sand down. Before I really dive into today's project, I wanted to share a quick favorite of mine, my base camp mask. I've been using it in the workshop lately and it's a game changer. It's lightweight, breathable, and has a dual layer filter that really helps block out any of the dust. So if you want to try one for yourself, use my code IAFT10 for 10% off. I'll drop the link below. Now that I've sanded it down a little bit, I am going to just use a little bit of acetone, see how effective that is. Now, acetone, if you're not aware, is a strong solvent that breaks down finishes like paint, stain, and even some adhesives. It works fast, evaporates quickly, which makes it perfect for jobs like this. Just to be sure, you've got to have good ventilation and definitely wear your protective gear. This actually is so much easier than the last cabinet I worked on, which had several thick coats of paint. That one took multiple rounds of stripper and acetone and a lot more muscle. But this paint wash, it's coming off like butter, a little acetone, a little scrubbing, and we're already back to bare wood. Okay, not easy, but not like super difficult. I don't need to do the bottom half because those drawers, you won't even be able to see in there, at least the back side. But this part is almost done. I still have that side. I'm getting there. Whew, now all the detailed work, scraping, the sanding, all that stuff now, it's gotta happen. So I typically like to clean up as I go. Just makes me feel better. Doesn't happen all the time, but I try. And I like to have a clean workshop because it gives me less stress. That's just how I roll. we've got some wormholes. Now, if I was just going to maybe stain this, I'd leave them, but we're gonna paint this. So I'm gonna fill in all these little wormholes. All right, that's looks like a case of the chicken pox. We're gonna let this dry, sand it down, and get a primer on it, and then it'll really show where we might need a little more filler. I just have a little area right here that needs a little wood filler. Now, I'm not looking for perfection on this piece, but we're not gonna go for a distressed look, so you want it to look pretty sharp. So that's why we're doing all this filling. Maybe you're asking at this point, what is a pie safe? Sometimes it's called a pie cupboard or a kitchen safe. These cabinets date back to the 19th century and were originally used to store pies, baked goods, and other perishable foods before refrigeration was common. The inside of this pie safe was looking a little too raw after I stripped it down. I didn't want to just slap on some paint and lose all that pretty grain, so I mixed up a little paint wash instead. This is just a thinned out paint, kind of like tinted water, but I'm brushing it on and wiping it back so it settles into the wood without completely covering it up. It keeps the character, tones down the orange, and ties everything together with the fresh new exterior. It's subtle, but it's gonna make a big difference. Sometimes it's the stuff on the inside that makes you fall in love with a piece all over again. Time to get some primer on this. We're going with Melange Paints Stain Blocking Primer. Good stuff right here. I'm not gonna spray. I think I've told you guys before, is I typically either roll or brush on my primer. No other reason other than just because I want to. I know there are going to be people out there that say, why paint it? Well, because that's what my client wants. It's going to match her house. They're moving into a new home and they've got a certain look that they're going for. And that's what she chooses. And down the road, if she ever wants to strip this, then go for it. Some key features included ventilation panels, often made of punched-in tin, mesh, or screening, like this one you see here, to allow air flow while keeping insects and rodents out. Another feature was for cool and dry storage. They were usually kept in cooler parts of the house to preserve food longer. And of course the shelving, ideal for stacking pies, bread, and even leftover meats. Over time, pie safes evolved into general purpose kitchen storage and are now often refinished as charming accent cabinets, pantry storage, or even bathroom or entryway pieces. the fun part. Such a pretty green. All right, let's take this tape off. Still need to do, you know, some of the details that the sprayer can't get. Now it's time to give the inside beadboard and the shelving a top coat. Armadillo from Melange Paints as well. I love this one too because it doesn't change the color of the wood. A lot of times when you put a top coat on, it's not what it looks like prior to it. And this gives you it basically keeps it the same tone. You know, one of the most important things is something you don't see are the inside of the drawers. So I'm going to put on the feed and wax to make these look super fresh, super clean, and just really, really sharp. So a little bit dull now, dry. I'm going to switch things up a little bit. These are held here by putting these down here, and I'm going to switch it up with some magnetic stoppers or catchers. But the problem is this is not, the depth is about this depth, so if I did put it there I wouldn't be able to shed it, so I'm going to add this piece right here, which is about the same. That way when you put this guy in here, it's perfect. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if any of that made any sense as to why I decided to use a magnetic latch. And the reason was the original latch on this pie safe, although charming, I was worried it might scrape the fresh paint over time. So I decided to go with this magnetic door catcher instead. It's a simple solution that keeps doors secure without risking damage to the finish. Obviously, I did have to make some tweaks to get the magnet to line up just right. Nothing too fancy, just one of those little adjustments that comes with working with older furniture. Well, it's finally time. It's making that short journey to the staging wall. It's time now to wrap it up, so I swapped out that old hardware for these sweet white knobs. Just that final little detail that really pulls it all together. This pie safe has come a long way, from a tired, orange-toned cabinet to a soft, fresh centerpiece with tons of charm. I love how the paint color plays with the natural wood inside, and those mesh doors keep its vintage soul intact. It's always extra special when I get to refinish a piece for a friend. I hope it brings her joy for years to come. And if you enjoyed this flip, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for spending a little flippin' time with me.